Well, everybody else is doing it. Why not? Because it's evil. You see, the way I see it, the greater the population is growing, the more people that are behaving against the laws of the land. And the lawmakers, therefore, are changing laws because everybody's doing it. Why not? It's like marijuana. Back in the 60s, it became very popular. And it kept growing and growing, and more people were doing it. Until somebody said, hey, you know what? Why don't we legalize it? Everybody's doing it. Why not? It'll save money in the courts and in the prisons and the jails and all the rest of that. Plus, we can tax it and make money from it. Okay, does that make it morally right? Does it make it right to alter your mind away from the natural cognitive function that it should have? No. That would it's kind of like saying that well, everybody drives drunk, so let's just go ahead and legalize it. No, that wouldn't work because that kills. Well, wait a second. What about abortion? That kills. That's murder. That's murder in the lowest form because you're killing what has absolutely no defense whatsoever for itself. And yes, it is life. Life begins at conception. You cannot stop life and restart it. Life starts at conception. I don't care if there's a baby formed or not. It's life. Life has started. And evil, and boy, you can see it plain as day. Today, you can just see it just right out there. When I was a kid, they would protest the Vietnam War. And a lot of the stuff you saw was peace. It was about peace. I remember watching footage of a girl putting daisies in the rifles of soldiers, just walking down, putting these flowers in the rifles of soldiers. There wasn't all this rioting and looting and burning and all the rest of that. But that shows how much more evil this country and the world as a whole has become. Evil. It's because man is accepting it. We don't have to accept it. And the sad part is, it's parents, schools, politicians, you name it. Everybody is pushing, oh, well, everybody's doing it. It's got to be okay. It's not. See, there was a time when if you did something wrong, immoral, you would get stoned to death. They would take you outside the city limit and throw rocks about the size of a potato at you as hard as they could until you were dead. Then they'd just leave you there under a pile of rocks. But that is no more. Because Jesus came and said, you need to forgive one another. But he never said, don't defend good. Which is kind of what's happening now. We're not defending what is good. These rioters, they should be taken out and stoned with stones until they're dead. Because they're useless, they're evil, and they are being examples of humans that they shouldn't be. They're bad examples. Their influence is taking down even those that are good. If you're not strong in spirit with God, it's taking you down. And the politicians are really, really pushing for evil, especially with this COVID-19 garbage. You can't go to church. No, no, no. You can go get drunk all you want, but you can't go to church. You can gamble, which is immoral, but you can't go to church. You can do whatever you want as long as you don't go to church. As long as you don't gather together in groups of Christians and seek that which is good. You can't do it. They don't want that. I was watching, and one of the statistics that came up was the state of New York, Cuomo, their death toll was, I believe, 1/3 of every other state, even Texas. Texas is way down. New York was way up. But it was because of the decision of Cuomo. He is not good. He's evil. All of these states that are dysfunctional, let's say, in this election, they're all leaning toward evil. They want evil. They want Biden. Biden is evil. Period. I mean, look at the corruption that he was involved in during his vice presidency. And you want him for the president? Really? And you want Harris for the vice? No, I don't think so. But see, the evil is creeping in. We'll get it. We'll get it next time. We'll get more evil to creep in. We'll get them to get used to it. We'll take away their church and their Bible and their guns and their God. We'll take it all away. So they can't defend themselves. They can't collect together and strengthen one another in spirit. And we'll destroy them. But there's a problem with that. You're not in charge. God is. In the Bible, God went to Abraham and he said, I'm going to go destroy these 2 cities. And Abraham asked, if there is one righteous man in those cities, will you destroy them? God said no. And so that one righteous man was removed from those cities. And God destroyed them. Why did he destroy them? Because they were living in absolute immorality. So, when Jesus comes and takes the children of God, which are the Christians, then what? I think it'll hold back God for a while, but in the end, you're all just going to burn in hell. And that's not a fairy tale. That's not just some story. That's the truth. And right now, I would have to say that because there are righteous people still here on this earth, we're keeping the unrighteous alive. So think about that. Do you really want to burn in hell for eternity? Or do you want to live forever in paradise? That's what God has for those who believe, those who trust, those who love their brother. It's the way it is. Don't let evil creep into your life. Stay strong in God.